Hi, everyone. My name is Professor Michael Bray. I am Program Director for Acting for Global Screen, and sitting to my left is Associate Professor Annie Chu. No, I've got one.
Okay, yeah. So hi, I am the Associate Professor of Practice here teaching on this fabulous course called Acting for Global Screen. So previously I've been an actress for over a decade. So I've been accumulated like 40 credits, screen credits, stage credits. And formerly I was a full-time actress at the Hong Kong Repertory Theatre. So one of the longest, established theatre companies in Hong Kong with the longest history. So I will kick off with the mission.
Yes, please.
Okay, so let's just briefly introduce the Academy of Film at HKBU. So we have a long history. So the Academy of Film strives to broaden students' academic vision and equip them with thorough academic and professional knowledge in creating content for screen through quality teaching, research, and knowledge exchange. That's our mission. And vision. The Academy of Film strives to become one of the top film schools in the world in both research and creative production education. So we're not looking like creating work locally, but we also into international collaboration. And why do you want to do anything with film? So that's the question you have to ask yourself. So for me, I would say it's empathetic understanding of humanity, so that there's a better world. And we have, I think the poorest thing that we are lacking here now is an empathy. So if we have empathy, we will have a better world. And how we could have better empathy, fear, that's fabulous film production, theater acting. Next, talking about Academy of Film. So I'll skip this one for now. So I'll pass my mic to Michael.
I think I'm online here. So the Academy of Film has got a long history, as Annie has pointed out. In the 1970s, it was the Department of Communication offered by Hong Kong's first film and video production course. And that morphed into the 1990s to the Department of Cinema and Television, which was established then. And then in 2009, it was renamed as the Academy of Film, as the Academy is finally established very much as an important part of the Hong Kong Baptist University. So you can see that there's an enormous amount of student achievements over the years here. We've got all sorts of major awards. You can see up there, the Locarno Festival, BFI, London, Osaka. So many, it's almost too many to mention. And these are the academic programs. Annie, if you could just
sure, I'll just go through them. So we've got several academic programs here running at HKBU, the Film TV School. So we have the Bachelor of Communication, film major. So we have two streams. One is film TV concentration. The other is animation and media arts concentration. And the second one is Master of Fine Arts in Film, Television, and Digital Media. And the third one is Bachelor of Arts in Creative Writing for Film, Television, and New Media. And the fourth is Higher Diploma in Creative Film Production.
Great. And also, the Academy of Film offers something called the Global University Film Awards. And this is a very special biannual event which HKB presents to the world, where people from universities all over the world offer up their films for the competition in various stages. As we can see here, there's 218 coming from the United Kingdom, 330 from the United States, 163 films from India, 103 from Germany, 129 from China. So it is a massive international event and very central to what the Academy of Film is actually trying to achieve, which is a global impact. We understand that film and television is a global industry, so GUFA is very much part of that. So now we come to the main event, really, which is this new course we've been going for a year now, which is Acting for Global Screen, which is a Bachelor of Fine Arts, so that it's a 4-year course. where we are training and educating people to be able to act, direct, produce, and be in film. They can also be stage actors and acting in any kind of media at all, where they have to work with dialogue or be able to live in imagined circumstances. It's an exciting development at the Academy of Film because it's unique, really. It's international, interdisciplinary, and it's state of the art, where we combine stage acting with screen acting and understanding the technology around film acting. Also, because it's a BFA and an undergraduate program, you are very much part of the university. So you develop what I think all good actors need, which is a hinterland, so that you can develop as an artist. You don't just need to know about acting, you need to know about philosophy, you need to know about history, you need to know about culture, and all of those things are fed to you via the undergraduate training. Oh, and this is me. So my background is I was an actor many, many years ago. Like Annie, I trained at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. And from there, I moved on and worked in film and television and in theatre. And I did 6 years at the National Theatre of Great Britain, where I had the great honour of working with Peter Hall and Peter Gill and Peter Brook very briefly. From there, I wrote and directed my first 2 stage plays, which I put on at the National Theatre. And one of them was chosen for Channel 4, and then I started to direct television. And I directed in television for 10 years before forming my own film company, Winchester Films, where I made my first movie, The Sea Change, starring Ray Winston, which was chosen for Sundance. And from Sundance, I worked at 20th Century Fox and many, many other film companies, both as a director, a screenwriter, and a producer eventually. So that was my professional background. And then I was asked by the board at Arts Ed London to look at their provision for screen acting training. And I was horrified by what I saw, because what I saw was a television director just teaching techniques, hitting marks and all the rest of it. Now, having been a director, I understood what it was that actors actually needed to be good screen actors. And they needed a lot of, I have to say, proper training, where they understood that you need to know a lot more about preparation, concentration, and relaxation to be a screen actor. So I wrote the first BA in acting for film and television, as well as an MA in screenwriting. And then from Arts Ed, where I was the director for 10 years, I then moved on to Central St Martin's in London, where I set up their first MA screen acting course and MA directors and MA screenwriters. So this was a suite of courses supplying all of their filmmaking experience. Let's move on from there. Now, what we're going to show you now is a promotional video, which shows you the outline of what Acting for Global Screen does and who is part of it. Now, this particular film was made before Annie joined us. Annie is very, very much part of the team. She's essential to the team now. So she won't appear in this, but she will appear in the next one.
Sure.
Okay, let's play it.
咁因為電影裏邊如果冇演員咧係比較難想像，所以咧我哋就特別咧係向大學申請籌辦一個咧係熒幕演技嘅學士學位，想培養演員咧點樣同熒幕做戲，點樣同科技做戲咧，其實都係一門新嘅學問啦。
Acting for Global Screen is a new and exciting program at the Academy of Film at Hong Kong Baptist University. We specialize in enabling students to be able to act for film and television and the stage, because acting has the same root, that is, living truthfully in imagined circumstances. And if you're chosen for this program, we'll also give you the essential confidence you need to make bold and bright choices on a film set, in a rehearsal room, or on the stage. Action. And if you join this program, we'll teach you how to bring the character to emotional life on a film set. You will learn how to direct film and direct for the stage. This is important because it's crucial for the actor to understand how important the relationship is between actor and director.
I'm going to ask you to start us off, so you're just going to say one word.
You will study speech and voice, movement for actors,
1, 2, 3.
and the fundamentals of acting. Here are our current students talking about the course.
I love it. I just really like it. I enjoy going to school, which is a feeling that I never had before.
We turned from people that we don't know and turned into like a family.
It's a safe place to experiment.
So many of my classmates, my teachers, helping me a lot in exploring more of our personality.
So fun to pretend all the things set together and work together. Someone's gonna be the clapboard, someone's gonna do with the lighting.
What can you do better instead of what you do wrong? So you have like the courage to keep like challenging yourself and do better.
Amazing knowledge from inside the industry that I have never heard before.
Because I always love acting, so why not do it as a subject? I was thinking, but then thankfully I got in.
I want to act or make movies. I'm really interested in this industry.
Like, I'm feeling so much proud to study in this Acting for Global Screen course here.
The course is encouraging me to really go for it and to try new things and become more of a bolder actor, which is amazing.
As an actor, you have to develop enormous confidence. That confidence will radiate out no matter what you do. Whether you become a film director or a director of photography or a screenwriter or a producer, there are quite literally hundreds of jobs that the transferable skills from this program could take you to. If you have a dream of working in film, try out for this program. Great. So that's an outline of Acting for Global Screen and what we do within it, and our ambitions for it. Here are some of my former students and professional actors who I've worked with, because I want to encourage professional actors to come in to work with the student actors constantly, so that they're reassured that what we are doing within the classes is exactly what they need for the profession. So let's just see this little film, which is mostly my former students.
Michael Bray was my first introduction into the world of television and film. Really, I couldn't have asked for a better teacher. The knowledge and experience he passed down to his students really set us up to go into the professional world with both confidence, experience, and knowledge.
I first worked with Michael on a short film, and I remember being astonished really at how well prepared his actors were. They were open to direction, alive in the moment, spontaneous and exciting, and technically knowledgeable, and it was great to be a part of.
He was an amazing director. His vision, and also when he knew it was your moment to really push out performance, he'd come up to you and he'd whisper something in your ear, and you knew, right, now it's time to really switch it on.
He's definitely one of those teachers that stays in here because he taught through experience. You could tell that he's been there. He knows exactly what we need to do.
I wish I had had that kind of opportunity as a student or as a young actor, because it took me years to understand what was going on a film set. Well, now I know, and I learned it slowly. But for these students, for anybody who gets a chance to do a course like this, it's a wonderful opportunity to learn by doing.
He created a really safe environment, an environment where you felt you had the ability to play. So that when I graduated and I got my first TV job, I walked on set and I felt like I belonged there. So for that, I'm really grateful.
There was no difference between being on set on this film and being on a professional set. So if you've got Michael coming to help you, you're very lucky.
He will teach you how to make bold choices.
And how to be really believable when you work with a camera.
Michael has worked with the very best, but what makes him such an exceptional teacher is that he can see exactly what you need as an actor for you to unleash your full potential and for you to become the best actor you can be.
Michael Bray really did give me the key to the doors of my future.
You are about to embark on creating fantastic and exciting work with a truly inspirational and world-class director.
So if you want a career on stage, film and television, apply for this course. I look forward to seeing you at the auditions. Great. So that was some people talking about me, which was very flattering, but that is to reassure anyone that's applying that I understand what I'm talking about. Because I think it's very, very important that you trust what it is that you're joining when you start your undergraduate life. So here we've got many of the external supports that come and work with us at the Academy of Film. And as you can see, they're incredibly famous. I mean, Annie, can you take us through the people that we're looking at, please?
Yeah, sure. So actually, some of them definitely Chen Falai, definitely you know. So she's in Shangqi. She's a consultant in our acting course. So she was also come here to, deliver some master classes. And one of the other examples, we have Anthony Wang Chaosang. Wang Chaosang 先生. Yeah. So I have the privilege to work with Anthony before. So we were in a production Aquis by Peter Shaver.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I was the magistrate, Hester Solomons, and of course he was the doctor. So I mean, we have lots of connections with all these people that we can have the connections to establish internships and placement opportunities for our students, which are very important. At the end of the day, acting is on-the-job training, and we need the students to be exposed to the industry to really work in a real environment in order to learn their craft. So we have Yam Datwa as well. So it is a long list. I won't go through every single one of them, but I'm sure you recognize all the familiar faces.
Good. In terms of the acting internships, this happens in the third year because it's a BFA, which is a 4-year program. And in the third year, you will be offered acting internships. Now, obviously, everything has changed because of COVID, so that restricts us. But actually, we're looking at lots of production companies, film companies, theatre companies, all sorts of companies and production companies who will invite our actors to join them so that you can get real experience of the real world before you graduate. This is very crucial to us, and it's central to what we're doing on Acting for Global Screen. We can go to the next slide. So these are the exchange programs and Summer Institute workshops that we're planning, and these are participants. These are yet to be confirmed, but these are all people that we're in conversation with, and hopefully these will come through. So it's the Carnegie Mellon University, the School of Drama at Yale, where I've spoken to them, and we're looking at summer schools with them, Emerson College, the Actors Studio in New York City, the National School of Drama in Delhi, Acting for Screen Department at the University of the Arts London, which I used to run. That's now moving to LCC, which is still part of UAL, so that will definitely go ahead. The National Institute of Dramatic Art in Australia, where I've worked with many people who have trained there, and the Central Academy of Drama in Beijing, China. So go on to the next slide. So let's talk about the course. We teach it in English. That's by default. Now, it's not that controversial. English is an international language, but the methods that we teach can be used in any language. If you want to speak in Cantonese or Mandarin or any language, the same methods can be applied. But obviously for this course, what we're looking for is very good English proficiency, okay? And excellent qualities in performance capability, high adaptability in learning, living, and working in various cultural settings. Let me just sort of drill down a bit onto the excellent qualities in performance capability. What does that actually mean? If I saw that on screen, I go, well, I'm not sure what it means. I will tell you exactly what I'm looking for when I look at an actor. I can teach anyone to act, but the one bit I can't teach you is the essential quality of being able to live truthfully in the imagined circumstances. So you have to have that ability to enter the imagined world. If you can do that, then you can act. Everything else can be taught. That bit you need. That is the sort of essential quality. Let's look at the next slide. So it's a program-based admission. It is open to local students, non-local students, and of course, international students. We're looking from students from around the world, and we want a varied cultural experience for everyone. So the admission procedure. Now, this is the key bit, really. If you are application via Dupus, you go by which route? There we go. You just click on that, and then you can apply, and you can see the minimum levels there for what you have to achieve in your exam to be part of this particular program. It's important to note that those are slightly changing. That is going through the university at the moment. So at the bottom there, you see any 2 elective subjects. That will probably change to 1 elective subject and a minimum level of 2 rather than 3. That's yet to be confirmed, but that's the way things are heading. If we could just go back to the other one. So what do you have to do once you apply? Well, you have to submit a portfolio. Don't be frightened. It's really very simple. So that's a performance resume. That's your CV, really. What have you done? You may have done nothing. It doesn't matter. I don't mind what you put down, but as something to show that you're interested in acting or performance. We'd like you to record 2 speeches. These can be taken from any film or television program that you like, and you look at a character that suits your casting, that you're interested in what the character is saying on screen. They don't have to be very long, 2 to 3 minutes, okay? You can record them on your phone, get a friend to record them for you, or just record them yourself. Again, be reassured, it's not the technical ability to film these that I'm looking for. What I'm actually looking for, or we're looking for, is that ability to enter the imagined world. You may not be very good at it yet, but it's just seeing someone try to do it. And then we want a personal statement, which is just a letter from you saying why you'd like to be part of Acting for Global Screen. And I read all of the personal statements because to me, they're incredibly valuable because they give me the first insight I have into you. This is about people and developing you as individuals through the acting process, which is transformative into something else. So I have to understand who I'm going to be talking to at the audition stage. And then the recommendation letter. Now, this is always problematic because everyone gets worried about this because they say, well, who's going to recommend me? This just has to be a letter from someone that you have worked with, someone you have been taught by at school, who can give a general outline of what you're like as an individual. So it might be your drama teacher, it might be your head teacher, it might be someone who runs your drama society. A letter of recommendation saying that they turn up on time and they're enthusiastic is what we're really looking for. And of course, a current photo. Now, this doesn't have to be a glamorous photograph in any way at all. It just has to be a simple headshot. It's to identify you, because as we go through the audition process, that photo travels with us. So when we get to the point where we're selecting candidates, we look at the photograph and the name. And then once you've submitted your portfolio, we read everything that you sent. And of course, we watch your audition speeches. That's the really important bit, to see whether you can live truthfully in the imagined circumstances. And then, with any luck, you're selected for the audition interview. Now, this is a very easy process, really. You're asked to come in, and then you perform one of the speeches that you've already done on your portfolio, and you do it in front of an international panel. That'll be myself, Annie, and two others. For instance, we had a producer from London. We've had producers and directors from Hong Kong. We've had lots of international figures who come in to help us select the very, very best people, of course, because we're putting together a company of actors to go through acting for global screen.
Michael, do you want to tell them a tip about the audition? Because you will give them notes and see if they could adapt to notes, which is very important.
What I do is in the audition process, you come in and you do your speech, and then I get up and work with you. It's very simple. This is just to see whether you can listen and adapt your performance. Yeah, very, very simple things, because some people are so over-rehearsed that they can't adapt. And we need to see whether you are adaptable and flexible and open to direction. And then once you're through that part of the process, we then invite you to sit down and we'll ask you a few questions. Very simple questions about yourself, your interests, and what makes you want to be a professional screen actor. And then after that, you're free to go home, and then we select the people who are going to be the part of the next Acting for Global Screen. Great. Now, this is the structure of the course. It's a very exciting program. I think it's fantastic because I've run a conservatoire drama school in Britain. I set up screen acting courses within Central St. Martin's, which is an art school. And now finally, we've got an acting program where it should be at the very heart of a film academy. And so this is the overall structure. As you can see, you've got your school core courses, these that you have to take. And as I say, it's very, very important because these feed your hinterland as actors. And then you've got your major core courses. Now, these are the acting parts where you'll do voice, speech, fundamentals of acting, how to act on screen, studying scripts. There's a variety of courses within those which stretch and develop your imaginations and your technical knowledge, and most importantly, give you the necessary methodologies to be able to act. And then you come to your honors projects, which are in your final year, which is where we'll either do a film, a theatre production, or a musical, or a combination of all three of those. So let's move on. That's the overall major in terms of the academic units that you can see there. Let's move on from there. So you can see there, the honors project is 6 units, that comes at the very end. And you can see that there are all sorts of very interesting courses within: dance for actors, comparative studies in acting, the special topic in screen performance, English for acting, special topic in stage acting. What is fantastic about this program is the range and the depth of it. The fact that you will be doing technology, motion capture, green screen, but you'll also be understanding how to dig into a text, how to take that text and action it so that you'll be able to perform it either on stage or on screen. That they both have the same root, living truthfully in imagined circumstances, but the process of getting to the end of those that is quite different. Let's move on from that. And so if you want to apply, this is what you need to do. You need to go onto the website and click and find out how to do it there, okay? And you can take a screenshot of that and apply. And if you're an international student, this is non-JUPAS applicants, both in Hong Kong, of course, or around the world, that is the screen grab for you. You will need an ELTS of 6 to get into the course. Good luck with that. Great. And that really has brought us neatly to the sort of end of this sharing of the program. and into Q&A. So anybody got any questions for us? And we'll answer them.
May I ask if this course focuses much on the portfolio of students? If I don't have many experiences and portfolios, but huge enthusiasm towards this program, does it mean that the chance of being admitted into this program will still be significantly reduced?
In answer to the question, we are looking for enthusiasm more than anything else. If you've got a passion for acting, then we are absolutely excited by that. Of course, when you're young, you may not have done many productions. Of course, you may have only ever done one. You may have just done something at school. That doesn't matter. What really matters is if you've got a passion for acting and that you want to do it. And if you want to do it, this is your home. This is where you come and learn the methods and develop the ability and the techniques to be able to act. So don't worry about that. You don't need a massive portfolio. You just need enthusiasm. So I suppose in answer to your question, it's yes. Very simply.
And I think, as Michael has pointed out earlier, the ability to imagine, definitely, and also the ability to adapt to notes. So demonstrate to us you can listen and truthfully respond. So I think that's more important than a massive portfolio, because we know, and there are other circumstances like COVID and every other things, because we know the education system in Hong Kong, maybe the students are not having a massive portfolio to prove their passion in acting. So we understand.
Yeah, and it doesn't bother me if you've done virtually nothing. I just need to see your enthusiasm. So that's a delightful question. I've got another one here, which is, if I put AGS as A3, this is for the JUPAS applicants, will you consider me, or should I put AGS as A1? Well, this is very important, because if you want to be part of this program, you must put us down on that as A1 so that you are considered, because it's quite a complicated process. So that if you're interested in screen acting, filmmaking, screenwriting, playwriting, stage acting, all of that, then put us down as A1. And that way you can be assured of going through the process. But if you put us as A3, you might not be considered. So it's very important for JUPAS candidates that you put us as A1. Let's put that clear. So I've got another question here, which is...
It seems foreigners is preferred than local students.
Sorry, could you repeat the question again?
It seems foreigners is preferred than local students.
No, no. Basically, the course was designed to have 8 local students from Hong Kong and 8 international students. But obviously that was designed pre-COVID. So now that we've got COVID in the world, that is going to change. So it dramatically cuts down the number of international applicants that we've had. We're hoping that as next year, that will rise again, because we really want international collaboration. Acting is an international industry. I was fascinated. I recently did a project here at Acting for Global Screen between our actors and actors at Central St Martin's in London. And what astonished me as I was watching the footage, because it was a kind of joint production where they made a film together. What astonished me as I watched it was that actually there was an Australian, an American, a Chinese girl, and a woman from Hong Kong in London. And here we have an Indonesian, an Indian student, and an English actress on Acting for Global Screen. So what is clear to me is that acting is a truly international industry. That is, once you learn the methodologies, there is no limit. Because you can go and star in a movie in Los Angeles, obviously, or in France, or Germany, or in the mainland, or in China.
And I think that's also reflected in the market. So we watch like the Marvel Shang-Chi, for example. So definitely we have an international cast, and it's the trend as well. not just movies, but also on like Netflix, Amazon, etc.
Yeah.
So I think this is the way to go, having a mixed cohort.
And also to kind of encourage you, I know there's a lot of people who think that acting is, and I have to be honest with you here, a very difficult industry to survive in. Annie will be testament to that, as I would too. Many of my best friends are actors, but the world is changing, and there has never been a better time, in my opinion, to be an actor. With the influence of Netflix, Amazon Prime, Apple Television, Disney Plus, all of these streaming networks need masses of material. And as a consequence, they're making more and more films. And they need actors in those films. And those actors need to know how to act for film. So for me, it is the perfect time to go into acting. But also I want to reassure you that if you're going in and you think, well, maybe I won't make it as an actor, what's the point of doing this particular degree? Well, you learn many other techniques, methods, but most importantly, the two, I think, of the greatest abilities that an individual can possess, having left education. Creative problem solving, because as when you're working in film or television, you're constantly having to be facing creative problems which need to be solved. And also you need to develop your imaginations. And as Albert Einstein said, the physicist, imagination is more important than knowledge, because without imagination, you can't reimagine the world. So having developed your imaginations, you can then apply it to whatever you wish to do moving forward. We've got one more question here, which I can't.
Yes, it's in Chinese. So how many marks? I think he or she is talking about the DSE marks in order to get into this program. I think we have a slide on it.
Yeah, I do. We've got a slide.
Yeah, for JUPAS applicants. So the minimum level is English languages 3, Chinese 3, liberal studies 2, mathematics compulsory part 2. And as Michael said earlier, so things might change for the any 2 elective subjects scoring 3. So it should be down to 1 elective subject scoring 2. So, but it is now going through the approving process in the university. So it to be confirmed, but that's basically what we're looking for. That's the minimum requirements.
Right. Thank you for that, Annie.
Yeah.
Yes. So those are the requirements if you're applying for JUPAS, and there will be the equivalents for international students, whether you're coming from Britain or America or whatever. We need the proper academic credentials to come in to do an undergraduate degree. So now another question from that list there.
Yeah. So given that the limited quota for AGS, could I apply for, I think this is a Bachelor of Communication film major he's talking about, and then sit in the AGS program if I want to engage in performing arts industries?
The simple answer to that is no. But there's a reason for that, is we're open on Acting for Global Screen to introduce all of our actors into the other programs. The problem is, if you come in and sit in and watch, you're not going to really gain very much, because acting has to be learnt through doing. It is an embodied learning process. You learn via doing, and you learn by getting it wrong to get it right. You have to do an exercise, reveal, and fundamentally open yourself up to failure. And once you've failed, and it's pointed out to you what failed, what you got wrong, you then have to do it again and get it right. So you have to go through the process. So if you want to be an actor, you have to put yourself through that process so that you understand it. There are many other parts of the program which are, I suppose, more academic, in the fact that you can learn them from the book. You can read it and you can study it. And of course, There is lots of reading to be done within the course, but actually the primary function of the classes of the core subjects is to enable the individual to go through the transformative process to becoming an actor. And that's the reason that we want to keep it as a company model, so that once you've joined Acting with Global Screen, you go through the whole process together. Another question?
Yes. If I am an associate degree student studying in other discipline, can I apply for the subject for senior year admission? So they want to change the subject.
Yeah.
I think that's the question.
Again, the answer is no, because you can't come in late to this. You have to have gone through the process from year one. So the course is been designed beautifully so that you go through an entire process to get to your honors project. And you have to know a lot of things within that. And it would be unfair on the individual joining, let's say, in the third year, which is, you know, where we do internships and more professional based work, because they simply wouldn't know all of the core subjects or how to apply them and how to apply those methodologies. So it's very important that you go from year one all the way through.
There's one here. If I graduate from associate degree, so it's a graduate already, how many GPA is required?
I'm not quite sure of that. Do we know? Yeah, so your IELTS needs to be 6.
Go to the AR website.
Go to the Academy website and you can see all of the requirements there. So I think you'll be fine. Another question?
Will there be any scholarship? If yes, what's the requirements to get it? I think we briefly
touched on that.
Yes.
We do have scholarships available. And of course, we want to give them to the most able individuals possible. And obviously, there's a whole range of thinking behind how we award those particular scholarships, but they are nearly always merit-based. So you have to be very accomplished and very good at what you do to get the scholarships. But again, don't be put off, because what we're looking for is the ability to imagine. And if you can do that, and you come from somewhere where you're going to need a scholarship, we will bear that in mind and we will make it happen so that you can come and take part in this fantastic BFA. So the scholarships are there to enable the most able. And the most able in this particular subject are those with the greatest imaginations. So I hope that that's clear.
Yeah, I think this one is really important. What is a suitable audition speech? Haha.
Very good. No, it's a great question. And it's one that I get asked a lot. One of the things you should start doing is when you're watching a film or a television program, think to yourself, could I play that part? Would I like to play that part? And if the answer is yes, then write the speech down. Just transcribe it out and then learn it. What are the elements of a good audition speech? Well, I think that something needs to happen. You, the character, need to be doing something to another character. That's what I'm really looking for, is how you are reacting to the other character, who obviously isn't there on screen, but is in your imagination. So it's important that it's an active speech and not a passive speech. And active means that the character is doing something. They want something. So it's got to be a strong want to make the speech work. So when you're looking at speeches, try and find them where a character is directly trying to get something or desperately wants something. And remember, you are always either thinking or doing something to someone else. And that's what we're looking at, is that thinking process. And that is what you have to reveal within the audition speech itself. Don't think, you know, oh, I've got this, I've got to find the best audition speech. There is no such thing. There are hundreds of books on Amazon full of audition speeches, and they're all good. They're good speeches. They're taken either from plays mostly, or sometimes television, and sometimes film. They're only very good if the speech suits you. So you've got to think about who you are, what you're presenting, revealing yourself. That's very important as an actor, revealing something about your emotional life through the character. So I would suggest that if you're looking for a good audition speech, look at lots of film and television, find that speech, record it, transcribe it, learn it, and do it. Yeah, you're knowing the doing. And remember, it's about living truthfully, playing the action of the character. That's the best sort of speech to get. Don't be too long. One of the biggest faults with audition speeches is they go on too long. You know, they go on for 5, 6, 7 minutes. Neither of us want to sit there for that long.
Yeah.
I can tell pretty much within 2 to 3 minutes whether somebody has got the ability to live truthfully in the imagined circumstances and whether they're actually involved in what's going on in that speech. So try and find something that suits you. So I would suggest possibly not a cartoon character. Try and pick real people in real situations. Try and find a subject the character is talking about that interests you so that you can bring your own passion to bear on that character, and make sure that it doesn't go on too long. That's the other thing.
So that's a new question here.
Mhm.
So hello, associate degrees graduates. Are there any senior application for associate degree graduates, or there is only year 1 application? I guess what this person means is like whether he or she can get a direct entry into year 2 or year 3 if they got an associate degree. I think it's no, right?
It's a no.
Yeah.
It's basically you come in at year 1, and that's the model that we follow. And that model is followed around the world at every international university, whether it's at Yale, Central St. Martin's, Guildhall, RADA, it doesn't really matter. The same model is followed in acting around the world. Any other questions there?
How many percentages will the interview and audition account for?
It accounts for 50% of your application. So it is very, very important that you do a good audition and interview. And then, of course, all the rest of your qualifications are added into the mix. And then we look at the overall package of the individuals involved. Just come to here. Great. I'm just looking down.
If I'm sorry.
No,
Is
no,
it the
I
same
think that one's
question?
been
Ah,
answered.
okay. Speech must be in English.
Yes. If you're doing a speech, do it in English. I have had people who've sent in the speeches in Cantonese. It's fine. What I then do, if I see that the person is very good in Cantonese, I then ask Joanna to contact you to say, could you do it again in English? Because the course, the program is taught in English and you perform mainly in English. But I have to reassure you that the methodologies that you learn and the techniques can be applied in any language. And when we get into the 3rd year and the 4th year, you will be encouraged to perform in any language that suits you, because we will be creating show reel material. That is, we will create little films to advertise your talent to the world. And you may want to do your show reel in Hindi, or you may want to do it in English, or you may want to do it in Cantonese. That will be your choice, whatever suits you best. But the overall thrust of the course is taught in English, and the speech that you send in should also be in English. Great.
All right. So here another one. If I didn't put this subject into band A,
Mhm.
can I get still get a chance to interview?
Yes, I think so. I think if you just you put it in, but you must try and put us into band A. That's the key to this, because your interest really starts with your choices at this stage. So it's very important you put us into band A. Any other questions? I think we're coming neatly towards the end. So let me reassure you. Let's talk about a career in acting, because there's some questions at the end here which are about a career. Lots of young people are pressured, of course, by their parents. I'm a father myself. I'm worried about my children, and I want them to have successful careers in whatever they choose. A career in acting is, of course, difficult. It's not easy. If it was easy, anyone could do it. It looks very attractive sometimes from the outside, but actually acting is brutally hard, and it's very difficult for the individual to develop and grow because there's so much rejection involved. But, and it's a big but if you are willing to commit and you can focus and you can develop the ability to transform as a person, you can become a successful actor. And part of my methodology that I impart into the students that I work with, and it's actually central to my philosophy, is I keep saying to them all the way through, there are lots of good actors, loads. Drama schools are full of them all around the world, and I've worked with lots of good actors. The difference between the working actor and the good actor is that the working actor is very good. That is, they're exceptional. And that really is a tiny change in their mindset. It's really about 2 degrees of difference. It's about a mental approach. It's as much philosophical as it is artistic, in my opinion. It is just about how the individual applies themselves. So my belief is that and I've got a very good track record of training film stars. I've got Lou LaBelle, who was a student of mine about 2 years ago, who is starring in Arthur C. Clarke's Foundation for Apple TV at the moment. And I stay in touch with all of my students over the years. I've got Lashana Lynch, who I work with at Arts Educational Schools London. She's starring in No Time to Die, which is the latest Bond film. And I spoke to Lashana about that. And one of the reassuring things that I hear, and this is not about my ego, this is actually about how good the training is. They always say to me, walking onto a film set is exactly like what we did at school, except with a bigger crew. It's exactly the same. Because what we seek to do here is recreate the atmosphere of a film set. And so all of the actors have to become part of the crew. Each and every one of you will become part of that crew. So you will become the camera assist, or the lighting person, or the grip, the gaffer, standby props, continuity, clapper, all of those jobs. Each and every actor within this program will have to understand how they do them and how they work around the actor working within the scene. And this is central to understand, because the successful, the very good screen actor understands how they fit within the rhythm of filmmaking. Because when you understand that, you can control your energy better and deliver an excellent performance. When you don't understand that, when you don't really know what's going on around you, you waste and flitter away your energy, and your focus and your imagination dissipates, and you're just not as good. And that's the secret to this, is by enabling you to understand the rhythm of filmmaking, and by putting you through a process which is constantly challenging you, you develop and you grow and you transform as individuals. Because becoming an actor is transformative, and it will inform the rest of your life. You will be, I think, happier and more fulfilled as an artist if you're fully focused and you understand what is being asked of you. So I think a career in acting is fantastic, but you don't just need to be an actor. you can go on, as I have done, to be a director. I directed in television, I directed in theatre, I wrote for the stage, I've written for television, and I've written for film, and I've produced films, and I'm currently still producing films. Because once you have a good acting methodology under your belt, and more importantly in your mind, you can then reapply it to all of those different areas. And the world is changing. It's changing rapidly. Many jobs which were thought of as stable and you would start at the beginning and go all the way through them, whether that's accountancy or law, are going to be replaced by AI in the next 10 years. The one thing that cannot be replaced is the actor, because you're central to telling the stories that people want to tell. And of course, there's a proliferation of distribution networks, whether it's Netflix or Amazon Prime, that need actors to tell those stories. So actors are needed more than ever. The world is shifting, and I think acting gives you a diverse range of skills and abilities that can be transferred into many other careers. So I think it's a great career to go into, and it will give you all of those associate methods.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing about why the AGS students would have more exposure and connections if they study here at HKBU, because this program is situated within this Academy of Film. And, you know, they will have chances to meet other student directors, student screenwriters. And, you know, practically speaking, it is very important to know them when you're all both very young. And then you create work together, you collaborate with each other, and then you have the connections made early on, even before your career started. And this is a great advantage, talking from a reality point of view.
It's immensely important. And also you grow together, because the relationship between the director and actor is critical. And you will also be working with many professional directors who come in to work with you, but also embryonic directors who are growing here at the Academy of Film, and producers, animators. I mean, at this very moment, 4 of the actors who are currently on Acting for Global Screen are laying the soundtrack for an animated film, which is being made here at the Academy of Film. So it's a, you know, a sensational place for diverse talents. And you can learn all of those different skills being within this. 2 minutes. Okay, in the last 2 minutes, there's the last question here. And are there any other choices for the actor having gone through this program? And I think it's really important for me to re-emphasize how many skills and methods can be taken from this program and then reapplied in your life. I myself trained as an actor many, many moons ago, but I became a stage director. I worked at the National Theatre, I directed the National Theatre, I then moved into television and then into film. I became a film executive, I ran a film company. So there's a whole series of careers that I've had, but all of them started back at the training that I had at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, which taught me some of the fundamentals. Creative problem solving being central, punctuality, focus, and the ability to listen and work with others, and to develop your imagination. And moving forward into the 21st century, imagination is going to be what employers are looking for. Yeah, skills and techniques, well, we can get those. But the essential engine, virtually of anything, is going to be your ability to apply your imagination. And this program will develop your imagination. And once you've developed that engine, you can then apply it to virtually anything else that you wish to do. It's a fantastic program. I encourage you all to apply. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.